at a different pace, evaluating whether users prefer timing parameters in American Sign Language animations to differ from human signers' timing.
Hi, I'm Sedeeq Al-khazraji. American Sign Language is used as a primary means of communication for about 500,000 people. American Sign Language is not a simple representation of English sentences using hands. It has its own syntax, word order, and lexicon, which is different from English. Many individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing experience lower level of language exposure during their childhood or some educational circumstances, which may lead to a poor level of English literacy. Some English text on websites may be too difficult to read for some people who are deaf. While adding videos of a human signer to a website may sound like a simple solution, it's an impractical approach because online information is updated frequently or generated automatically. So the video would need to be recorded and uploaded each time the website content changes. So there is a need for a software that generate understandable American Sign Language animations automatically from easy to update script. Creating realistic ASL animations is challenging and required selecting various details of avatar performance. We conceptualize speed and timing in ASL as 5 key parameters, which I will discuss in the upcoming slides. First, let's start with the sign duration. Each ASL sign consists of particular numbers of movements of the hands to a particular location in space or on the body. This image displays the same sentence illustrated with the words as individual rectangle of different width. The width of the rectangle is identified word length. The animation can be produced at various overall speed. Transition is the time that the signer hands are moving from the final position of one sign until the beginning position of the next. The orange highlighted area represents the transition time of the signer hands. Differential signing rate refers to how dynamic a signing performance is. For example, as a signer approaches to the end of the sentence, the final words may be performed more slowly. Pauses frequency is how often the signer pauses in ASL. The small rectangle indicates if there is a pause during the timeline between those two words. Pause duration is the time that the signer's hand stops moving between two ASL signs. Prior approaches of selecting speed and timing parameters for ASL animation have included asking a human artist to set the details of the animation manually, or writing rules to engineer speed and timing, or building software to predict speed and timing based on AI models. A common assumption in this work that a better quality ASL animation is the one in which the speed and timing parameters are as similar as possible to those of human ASL signers. Or it might be better to have slower animation than human. No prior study has investigated signer preference for each of 5 speed and timing parameters. We identified the following research questions. First, when presented with variation in ASL animation that differ in the value of these parameters, what values do deaf and hard of hearing ASL signers prefer? Second, does the preferred value differ from the speed and timing values typical in ASL signing produced by humans? We conducted 2 empirical studies to investigate participant preference for speed and timing parameters of ASL animations. Our first study identified 2 preferred values from among 5 options for each parameter, one of which include a typical human value for this parameter. Our second study compared the 2 most preferred animations from the first study to determine if users prefer animation to differ from human timing. We recruited 20 participants. Majority of them were university students. And using computer animation of sign language, we created 3 ASL stories, with each passage approximately 75 words, that discussing different topics. We investigated 5 levels of each ASL speed and timing parameters, and while it's subtle to see the difference, Yet our participant could see that difference. Here is a video of sign duration. I'm going to play a computer animation that looks like a video game character performing sign language. People rated each animation, and we found the two preferred level of each timing parameter. And it just happened that the human level always one of the top two each time. Please feel free to check the paper for additional details. Our goal in the second user study is to determine whether there is a measurable difference in participants' subjective rating based on these top two values. The methodology in the second user study was nearly identical to the first user study. The only exception is that in each screen the participants were asked to compare only two animations side by side. We found for the three non-posing related values, participants prefer animation to have faster sign speed, slower transition, and less dynamic variation in differential signing speed as compared to the timing of a human sign. For two pose-related values, a two-sided test for statistical equivalence revealed that ASL signer prefers pose length and frequency to be similar to that of humans. Previous approach of ASL creation, manual, rule-based, or AI-based, assumes that speed and timing values for ASL animation should be as similar as possible to the speed and timing values of typical human signing. And our findings reveal that this assumption is not true for the three non-pose related values parameters. For exaggeration both in appearance and movement, analysis of participant preference in our study has revealed that some exaggeration of speed and timing can be beneficial. We found that while ASL signer prefer pose-related parameter to be similar to human signer, they prefer ASL animation to be different than human for the three non-pose related parameters. This finding of this work can be used by computer animation artists who seek to create realistic ASL animation, or by researchers who investigate how to automate the creation of ASL animation, and also by researchers training AI model to predict speed and timing. Limitations and future works. We used a specific set of passages from prior work. Future work should use ASL passage with a wider variety of topics. Majority of our participants were university students. In future work, we need to conduct study with more diversity. Our study examined animation with a single avatar. In future work, we should explore a wider range of avatars. Thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.